Hello and welcome to the Limit of Adhesion. This is the killer Brands Hatch circuit, the first of 6 races in the second LOA GT3 season. Today I'm joined by my good friend and fellow commentator WADZ, as we would like to take you through this amazing race.
Yeah, hello, here watching the Brands Hatch GP circuit for the Limit of Adhesion.
Yeah, it's looking really good. It's a tight, difficult circuit with David Line putting it on top by 0.03 of a second ahead of Miller. So really close grid. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch, I think.
Absolutely. There's only a few tenths separating quite a few drivers.
Yeah,
so
really
hopefully
close
a
grid.
really close grid.
Yeah, and it's going to be a challenging circuit, especially for how tight it is and how close the grid is.
And today's qualifying results put William Bibby on top, followed by David Line, Rob Miller, Adam Highfield, Andres Fuelgrave, Oliver Walker, Tony Hankin, Marion Hugenman, Gavin Kelly, Will Burnett, Turu Molarin, Stephen Cakebread, Sam Stott, Jason Larson, Jake Weaver, Jason Chambers, Jason Weaver, Chris White, The Ledge, and Gareth WINSLADE.
All of the J's, P14 to P17, eh? All of them.
Yeah,
So,
quite a few of them.
Yeah, 4 J's all lining up on the 14th to 17th spot. It's going to be a fun race, I think. I'm really excited to see how the front runners do. William Bibby showing some really strong pace, but David showing even stronger pace in practice. So I think it will be really close between those two. Who is your one to win here?
All the top runners in a really good position. It's a tricky track. I think anyone could get out on top of this. Some crashes maybe, someone going a bit wide. Everything can happen really.
Definitely, and something that you viewers may be noticing now is last season we had a lot of BMWs running in the season, and now we have a lot of Lambos. It's all of the Italian makers' dreams, eh? We have all of the Lambos, one Audi driven by Sam Stott, and a couple Ferraris in there. But yeah, the Lambos are really the ones dominating this season. Although actually, now that I'm looking at it, it looks like there are more BMs still. So
as we see the race
go
going,
green. Look at
William
that.
Bibby leading
So yeah,
into turn 1.
really tight circuit here. I think it's going to be really fun to watch how it goes. Looks pretty clean through the first few corners. Nothing really happening. With that looks like almost 3 wide. Look at that, they are 3 wide. Wow, yeah, that is insane. And the 2 QRS teammates scrapping for what is that? That's P10. So scrapping for the remnants of the points really. Points go all the way down to 15th here in this season. So you can get a lot still. Like QRS, the Sam Stott going out to the
Audi
dirt.
going for the move.
Yeah, he's I think he was actually being overtaken there. Just held onto the move. He went onto the dirt a little bit on the straight there.
Yeah, that Porsche has some serious straight line speed.
I wonder if Weaver has damage. He's way at the back there. A long gap to the cars ahead. And that's the Porsche.
There's something might have happened, yeah.
Cakebread really looks like he's antsy for a move. We'll see how he shakes out. What's going on here then?
Just swap the train. Yeah, I think it's just some really close racing right now. Everyone's following through the train.
I think we might get quite a long train to through most of the race. It's one of those tracks that you really have to pick your moments to overtake. It's not the easiest track to overtake on. And as I say that Lamborghini looks like it's going to go for a move. That's Hooverden. Oh, he doesn't quite get it. So really difficult here. The difficulty is that everybody has slipstream, so you can't really catch up to anyone. Is
as we see Molarin going on the
Oh, he is going to dive it. A little bit of contact there. Hopefully nothing too serious. Doesn't look like any damage. Really nice move there, actually. Hanging it around the outside, giving him space. Clean driving.
Burnett's going maybe through again. Nice. Bit too far back.
I don't think so. Yeah, it's pretty close here. And looks like we're developing 2 sort of smaller groups here. We have a group of 3 right at the back there, quite a ways off, led by Stott. And the rest of the pack is sort of together. Molarin and these other 2 are sort of grouping together now. Looks like we might have a little fight for 9th or 8th on our hands here. And that is for 18th. That's Chambers actually going through. Yeah. A really nice move there, actually. yeah, and looks like Stott has damage, maybe? He is lacking a rear wing, or at least he has a very crooked rear wing. Wonder if we'll get to see what that happened there in a minute, but the Lamborghinis then. Attack of the Lamborghinis, eh? It's
Yeah, it's really taken over this season.
yeah, it's going to be a fight between the Lamborghinis and the BMs, I think. Who can
Yeah, but
dominate the season?
with the two cars you're being allowed to run for this season, think this is a track that really suits the Lambo.
Definitely. It's a very understeery track, isn't it? It makes you really want quite an oversteery car, quite a twitchy car, because it's very easy to understeer off this track, and I think the BMW might not be the right choice, really. Renowned for being a pretty heavy and slow car to turn. That's starting the pits in, so he did have damage. I wonder how he got that.
That's a really crooked car, that.
Yeah, that is really damaged. I wonder what happened. He uses his fast
repair.
repair, yeah, so he'll be out way at the back of the pack. Wouldn't surprise me if he retires. I don't think he's really got much left in this race. Unfortunate for him then. But this fight for the lead really isn't happening, is it? Bibby is taken off, and you know, Lion can't get really closer than 8/10. So I think this will be a close battle for P2, but I have a feeling
it looks to be for P2.
Unless Bibby makes a mistake, which I think is sort of
which is not impossible here.
Yeah, I think Lion still have to bank on Bibby making a mistake. He's losing a lot of time in that second sector. So I suppose we'll see how that works out. Looks like a fight here then. So Hooligan looked like he was going to try and make a move before. He looks like it again.
He really wants to get by that slower car.
Yeah, I don't know if he will though. It's we got a replay here. This is Chris White, I believe, and Chambers both going off, just following each other way off. So that is a real shame. I don't know quite what happened. I think just getting the braking wrong into there, you can really understeer if you don't get the turning right. Another replay here of Stott. Oh, as he just loses it. Hitting the wall, yeah, so that will be the damage.
And that explains the rear wing.
Yeah, so that's really not nice. That's, I suppose, just going a little bit wide off turn 1 and re-entering, getting a bad re-entry, so really unfortunate. And, I mean,
As you see
McLaren...
this train now. Yeah, the train is really...
McLaren started P11, I believe, so he has improved quite well now.
2 positions.
To go on board with Hugavin. He looks faster, doesn't he? I don't know...
Yeah, I think he's just waiting for the perfect moment where he know he can take him.
Yeah, you can see him letting off on the straights there, so it looks like he really wants to just play it safe for the moment. He knows...
He's in a good position, there's a long way left, about 20 minutes left of the race.
Definitely, yeah.
It's not the time to really make a mistake.
Blimp can, but really nice camera. It really shows how what may look like a small gap can actually be quite a lot if, you know, if when it comes to fast racing. All of these guys setting really competitive fast times, so everybody is pretty close. 1/10 could mean, you know, a move or not, so that looks like McLaren's getting on the back of Hooligan though. He looks like he wants to make the move.
He looks to have made a small mistake as we see Miller spun around.
Oh wow, so that's both Lamborghinis then. Hoogevin, yeah, but both of them off. I wonder if that's terminal damage for Hoogevin then. I think he was just coming out wide onto the line. Oh, and that's too wide for McLaren. That's a really close battle through one of the harder corners there. A very, very understeer intensive corner. Looks like McLaren's made the move stick. He's up into P7 now because of those two Lambos.
I think McLaren only had to dodge
and he spun! He spun, so what? I wonder what happened there, just losing it on power. We all know that the McLaren is a really difficult car to drive around the corners that might introduce a bit of oversteer. That's really unfortunate for both QRS team members actually.
As we see a Porsche spinning down back of the screen.
Yeah, I wonder who was that actually.
Unfortunate.
Not sure.
I think it's Larson.
I think it is. It is Larson. Yeah. So.
They seem dropped down quite a few positions here. So.
It's really unfortunate. I think this looks like it's going to be a move here. Kelly on Burnett. Really nice move from the Cadden Potter
really
teammate.
Nice
that is very nice actually. He got it done before the corner, and on entry just had the faster line. Will wants to get him back, but I don't think he quite has the power to do so. It's really
good
hard.
defending from Kelly.
And that's Chambers. So Somebody's in the pits there.
So Hugavin stuck in the pit lane.
It's Cakebread actually.
After
It's
that
Cakebread and
incident.
Hugavin. Yeah, so Hugavin's the Lamborghini in there, and the Porsche that we saw just pulling in that camera was Cakebread. So
Yeah.
this is a one-stop race. You literally don't have enough fuel to take it to the end. So every driver here is going to pit stop at some point. I wonder if Stott is going to try and make it to the end. He pitted earlier. I wonder if he's going to try and go to the end. It might be a bit early. It's hard to tell.
The problem is that he won't really have enough fuel. As we see,
he's gone off.
Kelly
So
going
Kelly.
off, losing that position to Burnett again.
And a sizable amount of time. That's a lot of time that he's lost as well. So he's going to really have to fight for that back. That's a Porsche. That is.
It's Chris White and Larson.
It is Chris White. Yeah, sorry. Chris White and Larson. He looked really close, and now it looks like there's not much of a gap. Milaren spun again. Wow, really not his day then. Getting caught up by Chambers here, so that is really unfortunate for Milaren. I think he was in a really good position. P7, P6. He looked to be going well.
And it goes in pit lane. Probably some damage from that then.
Yeah, I'd assume so. Or he's just doing his mandatory pit stop. It's getting to halfway. Wow. It's 2 laps away from being halfway through the race.
1/3 of the race, yeah.
So, we're close.
Lane gone catched up Bibi, way closer now than we're at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, so
they have both pulled out a serious gap to the cars behind, actually.
Maybe Bibi's backing off a bit, trying to just, I don't know, save tyres, but I don't think you really need to save tyres in this short of a race, so this will be interesting to see what Line does here, if he tries to move before the pits or after. It might be worth just sitting behind until after the pits.
I think it's just worth staying behind right now. It's still pretty much 15 minutes left of this race.
And that is the
you
Team
don't have
Fett,
to go for a move.
The new Team Fett team, father and son Weavers. Really nice looking cars, inspired by the Star Wars. So really cool. That Miller, just misses, narrowly misses the Fett team. So that's Weaver. I don't know. It's Jake Weaver. Yeah. So he reverses into the wall as well. So maybe
God, he's gotten some extra damage on that car.
Yeah, just losing it a bit. I think he just went a bit wide and touched the grass. Both the Porsches of who is that? That's Chris White and Cakebread.
White and Cakebread.
Yeah, so this will be interesting to see what happens.
Cakebread's
looking for the move. Cakebread's made it stick. That was a really nice move, actually. The Audi of Sam Stott looks like he's going to try and follow him through.
Getting involved.
He's going to try and follow him through around the outside. The outside of the last corner. That is a scary move to make.
That's a good move, but White seems to slow down to go in pit lane.
I mean, that's probably unfortunate for Stott, actually, slowing him down a bit, because White was going to pit anyway. We've got a replay here. And that is
the Miller spinning.
Miller, yeah, so that's...
And then getting hit.
So by Hugavin. So Hugavin slamming into him. Milaren's really lucky to have missed that, actually. That was really close. That's another car spinning. Larson spinning. This is another replay.
Lucky to not collect anyone right there.
Re-entering. No, okay, and then Milaren goes off as well. Wonder if he was distracted by the pretty BMW in front of him. But oh wow, that's a big crash.
That might explain Cakebread's visit to the pit lane, actually.
Yeah, definitely. He got lucky that it was that close to the pits, but that is a huge one. I'm amazed his engine even survived that. This is Highfield. So Adam Highfield, did he start? No, he's improved to third, hasn't he?
Yes, improved to third, 1 position.
That is, he's doing well. He's on the podium now. Like I said before, so there's more points up for grabs now, all the way down to 15. So hopefully that makes the championship a bit closer as well. Still only 6 races like last season. Really interesting calendar, actually. In 2 weeks we go to Imola, so that'll be exciting. That is
as we see one of the
WINSLADE. That's Gareth WINSLADE. Yeah, he was spun. He was 10 positions up. So
and then hitting the barrier.
That's really
not what he wants right now.
10 positions up from where he started in last. So he was doing really well then. Hopefully he can regain that without having to be caught by anyone. Although it does look like he's going to be caught, just looking at the map there, it does look like he's going to be caught by Weaver. Stott is looking racy. He's overtaken Cakebread here, so he's done that since we last tuned in with him. It looks like he's going to go for Weaver. I think he's really looking for the moves. That is Miller after spinning. So, do you have any favourites, any underdogs you think could bring any good results as Stott goes down the inside? Will he make the move stick? It looks like he's gonna. Yeah, that was
Weaver is
really
just giving
nice
him
move.
that position, don't want to really fight it.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's understandable.
Definitely,
But that
definitely.
Mighty Might Cakebread, not really. He's not wanting to go for that move,
Yeah, I
knowing
think
what risk it entails.
that's the issue. You let one car through, you gotta let them all through, because you're now slow onto the straight.
In a bad line for next corners, Cakebread goes through.
Malloran's following him through, so
And
he's lost
Malloran's
3
following.
positions there, so that is really unfortunate for Weaver.
And Malloran and Cakebread still side by side.
Still side by side, going around the outside. He doesn't make it stick. He might switch back to the inside though for the next corner. He now has a slipstream. And the slipstream is incredibly powerful in these cars. Gives you a lot of top speed. The only downside is that Brands Hatch doesn't really have a long enough straight to use it, you know?
No, it's just straight after turn 5.
I suppose, yeah. Yeah, that's a good straight to use, but still, it kind of goes into quite a difficult corner to overtake on.
Yes.
But Malloran really wants this move. You can see he's right on the bumper, and that looks like a bit of a risky take on the
As goes on the
grass.
inside.
That was a really fast move. I think maybe he was let through a bit by Cakebread. That was very quickly done. So.
Cakebread really good, but actually giving the space as well.
Christian Horner would have said clinical. So, and that is Kelly in the
Gavin
pits.
Kelly
So
going for maybe his mandatory pit stop after 14 minutes of
first
racing.
of the front runners to pit, I think. Unsafe pit entry.
Pit
15
entry,
second
that's
penalty. That is unfortunate.
not what you want.
Very reminiscent of the double unsafe pit entry at Monza last season for the QRS boys. Both of them going into the pits, one after the other, and both of them getting penalties. So that is very unfortunate.
Penalties is absolutely not what you want in this either. When such a short lap, such a short race, even
especially in the pits.
You can't really make up for it.
Yeah, the thing with the pits is that you know, instead of losing that time by just slowing down and you know, doing it gradually, you are stopped in the middle of a straight and you are told to wait for 15 seconds. That feels like an eternity when you're waiting. Malloran dives it. That was a really late move. Very well done. And well done by Chambers for giving him the space. Tries around the outside, gets sort of cut off a bit. I think he was a bit too far behind to make that stick. Cakebread wanting to make it 3 wide. He's not going to make it 3 wide, but Malloran is going to hold him off maybe. Oh, it's close. He's going to get the better exit though from the outside, so he's now going to try it on Chambers. We'll see how he does here. Or is he? It's really hard to tell. Chambers obviously is getting the benefits of the cars behind him fighting. He's got a bit of a breather here, but not for long as Malloran comes down the inside. Oh, really? Oh, and he's been spun. So Malloran went a bit wide there, I think, and just clipped his rear tire, and that's really unfortunate for Chambers.
Chambers race, yeah.
That's out of the points for him. He was he would have been 15th or 14th there, so out of the points now. That's really unfortunate. Highfield, he is closing in,
catching up to Baby and Lynn.
Yeah,
Line.
Yeah, Lynn. Yeah, no, I mean, Highfield showing a really strong race here. Fuelgrave was really I would have said that Fuelgrave had a good chance of winning it after his dominance at Monza last season. I think he has a really good chance of pulling it back here. And Highfield dives into the pits.
going to the pit lane.
So, do you think it's better to late stop or early stop here in the feature race?
It's always a really hard question to ask. I think it depends on how much fuel you add in the car.
Definitely, yeah. I think.
Did you know you could only do a certain amount of distance, or
what
was up with it?
I think it's difficult to say because I mean, I know a lot of the drivers do it in the way that they run the fuel, and the estimates that it gives you, unless you're using some external source, the estimates that the iRacing actually gives you are usually pretty inaccurate until you do a couple laps. So you sort of have to make that decision on the fly. You sort of have to mid-race decide, okay, I'm going to come in on this lap and refuel this much. And you know, it's extra brain power for a lot of the drivers, especially when you know, you're having a close race with someone. It's very easy to forget or make a mistake, and I think it adds a whole nother dimension to the racing here. So
And he was also catching up to line, and Bibi, maybe he just didn't want to get in their fight.
very
Side
possibly,
box
yeah,
early
that is
to
true.
try and
It's a good
undercut them.
idea. It's a good idea to try and avoid the fights. So, you know, wherever you can, avoid losing time by pitting or doing whatever. And Baby goes in, so maybe
Just one
Line.
lap after Highfield.
Maybe he decided Line was getting a bit close to him, or he wanted to undercut Line. But no, I'm curious for that. Just looking on the
Well, see, Line
timetable.
going to the pit lane as well.
I think so. Yeah, Weaver is in the pits as well, right there. That Team Fett car, the BMW that you're seeing, and that is Highfield's teammate, I believe, Oliver Walker,
Walker,
right there.
yeah.
So he is currently P4, but I think he'll be demoted after this pit stop down. We'll see where he ends up.
What can Highfield do about Bibi here then?
Malaren
He's
is back up
catching
into P11. I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but Malaren has really stormed back up. Of course, pit stops have been made, so it might change still, but Malaren's come a long way from where he was earlier. And so is Stott, actually. Stott was dead last at the beginning of this race by a long shot, and he's up into 15th now.
with
So
the only one doing the two-stop strategy around here.
I think that's because he had the damage at the start, so he stopped for the damage and probably didn't have enough fuel to go to the end.
Probably, yes.
And in the bottom right there, you see the pit stop strategy stint length. Fuel Grape going the latest with Bibi and Line, so all three front runners, other than Highfield, all stopping on the 13th lap. I wonder if the undercuts worked out for Highfield. Maybe the under. I mean, look at how close he is to Line. Actually, I think it has worked out for him. So the undercut then,
looks to have,
proving powerful. Line is flipping in and out, so that's a bit unfortunate. But he's back now, so we're all good. Highfield, can he make the move? Can he get a podium here?
Fuel Grape's in pits right now, so he's maybe up in third position, depending on how fast that pit stop was.
Oh, is he coming out? He is going to come out. This is going to be racing on the exit now. Or not, no, he's actually come out way in front.
Way behind.
Oh, way behind, sorry, yeah. So, Highfield then, up on the podium. So this is really cool for Highfield right now, really good for Highfield. I'm sure he's happy with that, but I'm sure he doesn't want to stop. He's so close to Line. I think he's a bit faster at the moment, at this stage in the race, and I think he really wants to make that move. Cake bread, Malaren.
Malaren spun again.
So really struggling with the McLaren.
Not really his race here.
Do you think he's struggling with the McLaren or the balance or something like that?
Kelly spun again. Kelly spun as well.
Yeah, so having a terrible race back here. He was way up earlier. I mean, he did really well in Season 1. You'd expect him to be higher in this race. Really unfortunate.
I think this is just one of those tracks to really catch out guard.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's
something we know from the past. We're using the same as last season. Is after this race there'll be a sprint race with everybody who wasn't lapped being inverted on the grid. So at the moment that would mean that Miller would start first and Bibi would start 9th, I believe. Although I'm not sure quite how it works. It's a bit inconsistent, I think, because I think everybody who's lapped gets inverted between each other, and then everybody who isn't lapped gets inverted between each other. So so that would put Kelly up sort of mid-pack, actually.
As we see, Chambers getting lapped by leading pack, the top 4.
Yeah, so I think Kelly might be almost sacrificing his race for the sprint race. You get less points for the sprint race, so I don't know if that's a great idea. I doubt he's doing it intentionally, but you know, you've always got to look for the positives in the negatives, and that is a very close fight actually for the lead, or for second.
Great camera angle as well.
Yeah, amazing camera, and
really showing the distance between the cars.
But just look on that track map. Bibi has left them in his dust. Absolutely gone. He's 3 seconds up the road. They're all within a second, so Bibi is really just starting to ditch them, and I think he's sort of planning on Adam maybe bringing the fight to David and slowing them all down a bit. So Adam has improved 1 position from his quali, and I think Fuelgrave has lost 1, so they're going to be wanting... Oh no, Fuelgrave is up 1 as well, so somebody has lost 2 positions. would it be? Is it Oliver?
It's a really good question.
Oh, it's Robert Miller. That's who it is. It's Miller.
Yes, it's
So
Robert Miller.
Miller's down in
Yes,
P9.
down
so
in P9 now.
yeah, what happened to him? And
As you see,
WINSLADE.
WINSLADE spinning.
This is really not Cannon Fodder's race, eh? I mean, that's Stott just passing
Larson
him.
and
So,
Stott.
so he's now P14. Stott's all the way up in P13 now, so he's improved 7 positions since the start. Yeah, I think this is really not Cannon Fodder's day, which is really unfortunate. We'll see if they can improve, hopefully. But yeah,
so Hoogerman fighting for P8 with Miller.
Miller, the was to be P3.
Catch up Burnett. It's the three Lamborghinis.
Yeah, so I think
Lamborghinis fighting it out.
I think the reason the Lamborghinis are so surprising to me is because last season they had, you know, there was like 1 Lamborghini, wasn't there? 1 or 2, and now we have 4 or 5.
Wasn't there many? Yeah,
so many.
I think it's because they want to.
Ooh,
Kelly spun again.
Kelly, yeah. So Cannon
At least been off the track.
Cannon Fodder are really struggling. He's going to let through the lapped cars or the lapping cars. So all 3 Lamborghinis. He's probably scratching his head. Why are there so many Lamborghinis? But yeah, no. I think that is a lapped car letting them through. So the fight is getting closer. Look at that. Highfield is getting closer and closer.
Isn't making it better. They're just bunching them all together.
I mean, it's helping Bibby a lot, because, well, when you think about it, when you have a lot of cars bunched together fighting for position, and then you add a lapped car in the mix, all of those cars are going to be slowed down. If you just have 1 car, it's very easy to let 1 car through.
Is he going to go for the move?
He is. It looks like he's going to want to try at some point.
Going to wait a bit longer.
Is he going to try it on the inside? No, I think...
I think he has a corner where he knows that the line is a bit slower, and he's gonna want to try and go for it there.
Wow, this is the second to last lap. We'll be going on to the last lap very soon, so, you know, it's really about trying to make the move as soon as possible. He has Fuelgrave right on him. Fuelgrave's actually looking for the move, and Stephen Cakebread gets a drive-through for penalties, but that is Highfield just hanging on to the position. I'm sure he's not happy because that's letting David Line get away. We'll see if Highfield can do anything this next lap, but yeah, you're definitely right. I think, you know, Highfield has had so many laps just sitting behind David, just watching where he's slower and where he's faster, and now is the time to strike. Fuelgrave is really not helping with that.
It's not. He's way closer to Highfield, and Highfield is in line. Line seems to have some internet issues.
He's getting closer and closer. So he was 9/10 earlier, and now he's 4/10. This is Malaren.
And Cakebread.
Is he gonna do? Oh, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell, sort of, if people are faster or slower here. It's very hard because, you know, you're faster in some areas, you're slower in some areas, and it's all about making that compromise.
It really depends on how you set up the car.
Exactly, and how you set it up for the corners. And that is the top 5 finishing the race. I think we've completely missed it. Bibby...
No, you're just going on to white flag, I think.
No, they are finished. So Bibby coming home to take the win, with Line driving a very close second with Highfield and Fuelgrave in 3rd and 4th. Walker in 5th, really good for the Rumblebees actually. That will put them in 1st on the championship, I think. And Hankin in P6, Burnett in P7, Hoogerman P8, Miller P9, Malaren P10, really good recovery from him. Cakebread in P11, and can you take over just for a minute here?
Larson P12, Stott P13, WINSLADE P14, Weaver P15, Chambers P16, Weaver P17, White P18, Kelly P19, and
I'm not sure, you were at Kelly, right? So Kelly was 18 or 19?
Yeah.
Or
was Kelly 19th then?
Kelly 19th, so that would make, I believe, I'm not sure who to ask, but anyway, so as you can see, the new point system, that's 50 points to Bibby, and it was the ledge.
Erin Yang,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
and the ledge in P20.
Yeah, so sorry for the confusion there, but yeah, 50 points to Bibby, so that's going to put him comfortably ahead in the championship at the moment. and that is Little and Large. So Little and Large are going to get a big boost with Hankin finishing in 6th as well. David Line and... oh, no, actually, Adam Highfield and Oliver Walker are going to be first in the championship, aren't they?
Yeah, they're going to be first.
The drivers, or in the team, sorry.
The Rumblebees.
Yeah, so the Rumblebees showing really strong here. Yeah, there they are. Rumblebees in first by a whole 11 points on the first race, so that's really strong from them. Followed by Blackpink, LB Racing, Little and Large, the A team, QRS, Otto Esports Racing Team, Jägermeister, Cannon Fodder, Eclipse Racing, Team FET, and followed up by the Backpack, really staying true to their name. Really good race. Make sure that you follow us on all of our socials, Limit Adhesion, Limit Adhesion on Twitter, and I will see you all in 2 weeks' time at Imola. Next week we have the Formula 3s at Interlagos, so that's going to be a really interesting race. So stay tuned, keep watching. It's going to be a really interesting season.
Yeah, we'll see you in the second race of France, and the sprint race.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good. So thank you all for joining, and we'll see you around.